All right, let's continue on with trying to make something out of something here. What I'm going to do, I had 2 pieces like this from that box that I got from Snow Days, the free box, or free wood, free cutouts. 2 of these, so I thought I'd try to come up with something first instead of trying to come up with a new design. And this is a Nisse, Norwegian Nisse, or it'd be a Swedish tomte. And I thought I've always wanted to do one of these, and has sort of like this baggy red hat, and then there are many that have the beard and mustache. I wanted one just with the beard and not mustache. Let's do this. And that's what we're going to work on. But before we do, update on the last videos is I just happened to run into, getting back to this, I don't have the original. This is 2 videos ago where I tried to fix a angel that somebody had started. I have seen a video from Alex Lacrosse, who did one virtually like this, and I just wonder if this is what it is. The only thing that's different from his is more stylized. Yeah, there's sort of the bend here, because he has this bend, but he has the arms and the hands up here, much higher, so that would give more of the slanky, lanky figure here. And then his had a nice round to it. So I wonder if this is his. Check out Alex Lacrosse and his video on the angel. And here's a little update on this one here. Again, I'm gonna bow out on trying to fix this. The only critique, the thing that I didn't like about this is the eyeball. Is you'll notice that the eyeball, see how this pops out more? What should happen is that the iris should be, or the pupil should be up on top and not round. Don't round like that. Let's see if I can just do this to show you. So from the top down. From the top down. You start from the bottom up in order to get this, let's get that out of the way, in order to get this, the upper eyelid going. But then from there you come back down again. Let me see if I can do this quickly, because I want to move on. Get out of there. Well, I want to move on, but you could see now how it's up, it's high on top, and then it comes down this way. The other thing too is he or she has got nice lips, but the lips is sticking out too much. The lips are in the right spot. As far as this way, it's in the right spot. But the lip is sticking out too much. And the other thing I didn't care for this is that the eyeballs, or the eye line, is a little higher than it should be. But anyways, I think this is just a practice piece. It could very well have been a practice piece, so nothing totally against it. But it's just fun trying to figure things out. And so I'm going to zoom in. Let's get going here. Make sure we are doing right here. Now, the first thing I want to do is to make sure that we put the arms in. This one here is just very simple. It's more like the concept piece of just having his hands in the pocket. I may change up, and I think if I remember, because I probably will forget, I am going to use all of this and have the hands out, and have him have a spoon in his hand, because this is when you're on the farm in a Scandinavian farmland, is that come Christmas time, I mean, these Nisses always help you with your cattle and so on, but Christmas time you always leave a big bowl of porridge. And I think instead of Christmas should be other times too, but so he's going to have a spoon in his hand. Now he could have, I'm not sure what to put in the other hand or just put it in his pocket, because it would be a bowl, and I think I will come back later with another. In other words, come up with my own design instead of, this is pretty well committed. So if I were to leave some of that wood or I have more wood, have him holding onto a ball. But I don't have that here. Now, whoever had this Rhodian Santa, and it could very well be a Santa. We can definitely get a Santa out of that. As a matter of fact, we can do this, and then the ball would be right here. And I think that's what was planned. But like I said, I just want to do a Nisse because it's different. It's a bit Scandinavian. And I do like how this comes down and the head comes down. But this is later. But I want to make sure that the arm is either all the way back. You can have it all the way back or just a little forward. Maybe just a little forward. And I want so I think I will have him with a hand in the pocket, but one hand out, just to make it a little different. I make the arms a bit wider than I think they would be, because we can always trim back. I think I want to be careful. I think what happened, I may have had the hand in the pocket too high. But let's do this. Let's see if we can, because now the arm should come out a little more this way. Let's erase. I think that's better. But when I get to carving the hand, I want to make sure I just take a little bit off here because I want as much wood as I can. Let's make that a little wider, larger. The hand here. And mostly I want to just get started going here. Now I got him, he's got the pointy feet. It's not as pointy as I wanted to. And he's going to just be standing. There's no, I think I see him tilting to the left a little bit. Do I have that? Yeah, I have him tilted just a little bit to our left. So there we go. Now he's got short pants, long legs, or long stockings, you might say. But like I said, I want to round things off first. This is not going to be a ball. When I got my pink pearl here, maybe I should use that instead. So it is kind of fun just picking up somebody's, what they gave up, and hopefully somebody would want it, kind of a thing. And I'm going to use the V-tool first. Let's put my cuticle gloves on. This is a retired glove that I had in this hand. And so it goes into my holding hand. Where is my, there it is. Is that, no, that ain't it. In the beard. So we'll put the beard in. How far back can I go? How far forward can I sit? Because I want this as natural as possible. because let's see, if I was carving, it'd be carving right here like this. And that would be out of, so I'm stretching a little bit, rest my hand on the table. Carve a little bit and not talk. I think you will like that. This one, arms almost straight down. No, this is, probably don't need to put that in right now. It's more just like a feeler. Now we just had character carver Bruce Ankeny out, and in our Rochester, Minnesota group did a demonstration on one of his. It was a Minnesota man or gnome. It's a gnome, pardon me. And one of the things that I had learned from that was to, when you cut, especially a character like this, I kind of agree, unless when you get down to detailing, it's a bit different. Is, see, what I've done, I want to see how this works, and I used to go straight down and straight, and he says go not straight but at an angle away from. And we can always clean that up too if we disagree with it. Angle away from. So instead of going straight down, I'm going to go across a little bit this way. We'll just try that. So that's what's new on this carving. And I would bet the farm that I will get into this and I will forget it. And you're going to say, oh, you're going straight down. You forgot. Yes, I did. So away from. It's really interesting, some of his videos, and as he was demonstrating a bit, is a little talking, unless you got a question, kind of a thing. And I agree with that too. It's kind of hard to, well, that one's probably was straight down. It is hard to carve and talk at the same time. I'm one of those that has problems having dinner or being a dinner guest or something where you sit at the dinner and you eat and talk at the same time. It's the concept of talking when there's an obstruction in your mouth. It's the same here too. It's kind of hard to talk. See, how do I got this coming? I like what I have his belly out a little bit. And so this is gonna get a little more. I can always come back. A little bit away. Get out of there. Now we'll come in. I can take the V. Now, one of the things he talked about, like others talk about, is when you use that V tool, get one that has it's a soft V that has a roundness. And I agree basically, but this one here has sort of I'm going to cut this. Sort of a roundness to it, softness. But I have rarely used my V tool and was disappointed and stuck with what I put in that I didn't want. It may have happened. It's more of the knife has done that. Now what I was trying to do here was remembering that the elbow is sticking out. The elbow's out, shoulder goes in. Now this one is going to go kind of straight. Here this forearm may go in a little bit. But let me see if I'm right about carving. No, it's working. Make some adjustments away from. I can not take too much off. I want him to have a nice big beard, or a wide beard. At the same time taking some of the saw marks off. All right, being careful, but I might from here get that nice 90-degree angle. I hope I remember. Little rounding, saw marks off. Like I said, we're just getting started. Saw marks, rounding. The other thing that I've been discovering, oh, it's probably a good time not to talk. You notice my other videos is I've been choking up on the blade too much, like this. And it may, sometimes it helps, but I find it's still, I get still better cuts if I still have the knife hand on the handle. But I will probably be choking. I'm choking right now. Got some of this dust in me. So this would be a good time to not talk for a while. I do have a chatter in my knife. See if this will help. Hopefully I don't have to stop. Yeah, I think it's still in there. Yeah, it's still there. Well, continuing on. Getting to the side here. Careful around the beard, I want to keep that. I'm getting a good rough out started here. That went straight down. Now the Nisse does have, or the ones I've seen, does have a buckle like a Santa buckle. So we'll keep that in mind. Now I don't have to worry too much about keeping any wood while I'm roughing this out, but let's take some of that, some of that saw marks out. Make sure I leave enough for the nose. One thing I said that I decided to do last year, see if I remember this year, is since I'm carving a lot of Santas during September, October, November, is why don't I just simply do videos of them? I'm kind of a little concerned here. The elbow should be about here. I think I'm recovering here. Just a little forward. Therefore, it lengthens the upper arm a little more. Now, one of the things I've mentioned many times, and maybe you can comment, when I do videos, they're more complex than others, and there's nothing against this Alex Lacrosse and Doug Linker and the gang, and they do smaller pieces, and that's fine too. Just I wonder if that's what people really want, is smaller pieces instead of longer videos that have a more complex detailing. And if there's anything that really wants something that's small, that has some detail, or I'm trying to say the word value, they all have value. Oh, excuse me. Now I'm keeping in mind, all he's got is a pants, and he's got the shirt in the back here. In fact, let's tend to that for a while. Yeah, I still have that burr. Of course I do, it isn't going to go away just by carving. Now I'm going to get one of my round tools just to get me started here on this. It is a concave, not convex. that'll get me started. Here. Let's cut this, get this started, get this started. Get the back of the hair here. We may have missed this. I'm not missing it. Got rid of that. Oh, I didn't want to do that. Well, we'll figure it out. I wanted more hair back there. Trying to get the saw marks off. It's just a little roundy here, a little rounder here. Oh, it's choking again, but it's fine. Remember, the elbow is out. All right, I'm kind of ready to get down to the bottom part. Now I'll just start rounding here, just to get it started, just to get the corners off and to get the saw marks off. While we're at it, depends on how big you want the feet. Quite a bit coming off here because the legs are going to come down. And become skinnier. careful here because I want to have some nice bulge going on with his hand. May have been, kind of goofed it with this part here, so therefore I might have to move it up. Because this is where the hand is supposed to be. Here, let's do this. This is what's goofed here. You need to bring the hand. This is the hand going in. That's why that looked too long. That's why that looked goofed up. So if I can fix that, I want to keep that bulge, the hand bulge. So create that bulge here. See, I put that crease there. Let's see. Maybe I may. This is one of those times that I do regret having a feet cut there. I will have to work on it a little later. But no, I'll have to take that off of there. Then therefore, bulge this area a bit. There we go. Fixed a little bit. Well, I was going to be working on the feet, but it went up to the bulge here. Okay, let's go in here now. There's no bulge here. Where are we at the feet? Now I want this, the tips, the front tip to sweep up. So just get that kind of started. Where's that center? That center line is right here. All right, so I was all right there. Interesting. I started to concave this, but this foot is smaller. So I need to cut in some more. more saw marks. Now, where is his, I'm going to look at see where is his feet as opposed to his entire stocking arrangement. And then the pants is right here. The reason why I want to do that is I'm going to come back with the V tool and separate the legs a little bit. Here this way, because the pencil seemed to be caught on the leg and it just bounces up. And so okay. Therefore, the crotch is there, then therefore I'll do some more V-cutting. So I might as well put my cuticle glove on. All right, the pants, I'm going to go just a little lower than I've selected there. Always can fix it if I change my mind. Get that in. And I got to have that backwards. Just to get that started. And then the shirt. Now this is going to come up and then it's going to come down and stay down. See, here I had it go from up, down, back up again because of the hands are in the pocket, and therefore the shirt is above the hand. Well, here we can probably, let's see how that would look. Then here, and then this is going to come back down. It's come across, it's going to come back down. And then nah, hold on, I'm going to go a little farther, just a little bit down. Just a little bit more down. How do I have that? And it goes in the back, under the arm. Give it a quick slip from here. And then I'm going to work with this for a while and bring the belt in later. I want to work on the pants and the stocking feet. Let me adjust my brain there. And now I'm going to do, this is going to be quite a bit of chomping here. Now I want to get, because I'm going to have to redo the feet. Was just getting started on the feet. And what's going to happen is that the calves are wider than the ankles, so we're going in. Now back here, it's kind of the opposite because it's going to go out into the foot. Oops, I'm going in away from the calf into the, away from the calf into the ankle. I need just another swipe here. Just putting a little polish to it. We'll start with this. Now remembering going into the ankles, going away from the calf into the ankles. Oops. I am seeing right now that one leg is looking bigger than the next than the other. Let's see if doing this will work. Yeah, it's getting in there. It's a getting in there thing. I need more here. Remove here. And not so much here. I'm trying to get the legs away from the pant legs. So this is just a, here's the pant leg. Ooh, it's robbing o'clock. Now we're just getting started on getting that shins thinner than the calves, and it's just a matter of keep going back and forth, shaping here, shaping there. I mean, I'm getting there. Oops, snap. It's going pretty decent. Like I said, a while, probably some more. I'm almost like want to keep it like that, except just adjusting. Now with that, now the shoes have gotten kind of bigger than they should. So cutting the shoes down a bit. To choke the knife blade a little bit here to clean. Now I think we're good for, I like to take the saw marks off here, so I'll shape it just a little bit for the sake of the saw marks, and then come back later for more adjustments. Starting in that roundness. And while we're at it, we'll just take a little bit off here for now. And there's quite a bit more adjusting, fixing. All right, this is what we got so far on the legs. I think these might turn out a little better, because I think what I did with that was I started to carve the feet and then realized that it comes up like this, sort of like the genie of the lamp, kind of a feet up. This one's a little more difficult. Be careful I don't. chop anything away I shouldn't. One is a little longer than the other. Fix that. And more adjusting, fixing this and that. Moving on, let's get the difference between the shirt and the pants. We want the shirt up, or tunic, or whatever you call that, whatever he has on. Now I want to be careful here, because he's got his butoctyl. Of course, this is one of the biggest parts. And then this is going to come back. Oops, careful. I felt a big snap coming. Big snap coming, and I changed course. There's a lot of chippies here and there. A lot of chippies. A lot of these cuts, these breaking cuts. Now be careful, this is want the bulge in this one. Okay, again, now I want to be careful here. Now I am going to adjust the pants underneath the shirt here. But I want to make sure I got enough wood for that belt. And like I said, we don't have to have too much wood for the belt. And then try to remember the bulge here. Trying to get that one chip out of there, and isn't. I'm taking off more than I want to. Okay, the belt. Now, because this is what's going to happen here, I think I'm going to do this on purpose, because as the arm comes up, now here I have the belt itself kind of disappear. And here the belt is going to disappear here. So, or here. So I want to make this kind of cockeyed here. Intentionally cockeyed. And we're going to come around, and it just, it's like I see here, come down a little bit. Where's this here? It's a little extra. Okay, I want to make sure this is correct first. A little cockeyedness. It adds extra personality. I want to put the buckle in first and then go from there. Then come around. The belt is a little thinner than it should be here. We'll adjust that. I think I get the buckle smaller than this one. Whatever size you want. Now this is going to go up this way. I said I want to put the buckle in first. Have the belt go after that. This is the hardest part here. Now this is going to be difficult. Just a bit. I'm going to have to get my detail knife in there. Yeah, I might have to get my small detail. I can probably get it started here. I'm going to get into details later, but this is one of those things that I learned from Mitch Cartledge, is wherever there's three, you put a little chip in there. When three things come together, this is a little chip. It does. It really works. That was one of the things right there that was worth the class. See, did I do it this? Yeah, you see how See that under the buckle, between the belts with the buckle? See how that just pops right out? Oops, fixing this. So he's ready for the paint table. But I will do that more when I come detailing. I just wanted to show you quick because it's easy, I think easy to get into it now. I'll have to work with that later. I think I got that backwards. That chip is backwards. Anyways, moving along. Do a little bit of cleaning up here. Want to scoop and get that pants come out a little bit. But here, be careful, the bulge. Shouldn't be putting too much detail right here because I got the hand to put in. Yeah. Stop wasting time in there. On that. Yeah, let's get this started. Get out of there. No gnat going around. Again, a little more scooping here. I think I got to scoop the other way. No. Just got to clean up that belt a little bit. I'm going to have to come around. There'd be a chip there, would be a big chip. See, this is a good place to put those chips in. See a little chip right there? See how that? I'm just going to do it now. I will clean it up later when it's time for cleaning up. But just see right now how things are popping. There's a possibility here. Before I do that, I want this to come in actually. One arm is a bit wider than the other, but I wonder, I'll come back a little later with that. figure that out. I'm still, like I said, I'm still relatively taking wood off, not too much on detail. Well, the detail on the legs and detail on the belt and all. It's really, I just want to move on. That's the thing, is I can always come back and clean this up. Now we're moving up. His sleeve is in there. Do I have a sign on that sleeve? This is going to be a little longer. So I could shrink this just a little bit. See, this arm should be longer than this one because the hand disappears. Here we're taking the hand in consideration. Let me just take the saw marks off, corners off. All right, got quite a bit. I think after I get the hand, I'll shrink the arms a little bit here. I'm going to just favor the sleeve a little more. Again, it can always come back. Now I want more hand. The hand is out like this, and the sleeve, and then the sleeve will come up or come down. Actually, when I was showing, it's going up, but and that will kind of shrink this forearm a little bit. I'll put this in for the sake of seeing where the arms are and rounding the arms a bit. Just shrink this just a little bit here. It's supposed to be away from the arm, but it's got chomping. Same with here. It's starting to come out. All right. Just a little bit trimming. Come in. In. All right, I am going to kind of leave that hand a little bit alone, I think, because what I want to do is I want to drill before I make that hand look pretty. And then if I don't and put the fingers in, it may snap. I think I've said that a million times, but because it happened to me a couple of times until I figured that out. It's the old pencil box theory. I've seen people when they want to make this pencil box, this is back a long time ago. You take a piece of wood and then you drill a big hole in this block of wood and then you carve around it. Carve around that hole. So I'll leave that for now until I can figure out the hole, how the hole is going to be. Geez, get out of here. It's going to be mostly like he's got it. Now, the tendency when we hold something, like I hold this thing, it's heading towards, it's in this direction. But the problem is that's going to be in the way. Whereas if you have it away like this is more, I don't know, this is more relaxed. I guess this is more like he's ready to eat or whatever. I don't know. So I'm going to have this out like this so I can have the spoon up here. Now, here we go with the head. Got the hat about here, right where I thought the nose was, or what he had as, or I'm sorry, the Carver had as the nose. Because I do want a nice big floppy hat. Floppy, sort of a stocking cap kind of a thing. Now, if he is leaning, I'm going to take the advantage of this. I'm going to take this advantage of that. Therefore, but it still has to go down this way. This should go farther down. There. And I do want to put that in right away. I think I like it better this way. That I mean, I got into the thinking of trying to teach or show you how I come up with a new design and this and that. Instead of once in a while, I should do this where I should complete a piece that I'm happy, and then let's carve that. Make sure when I cut, I want to cut in the direction that it's going. And pretty soon I'm going to have to stop and go downstairs and get these tools sharp. Now I got to remember right here, I'm just going to scoop right there. And then here I'm just going to, that's just a small scoop. And of course this is all going to be adjusted. I'm going to keep this. Keep all of this. That's below where I'm cutting, because I want them pretty hairy. So just to get things started there. Just a little rounding here, just a little bit. Oops. The hat, I want this to be as, well, I'm going to wait. I can get it started, but usually I'd like to wait until I get the face done, because I'm sure there's going to be much more adjustments. So I thought, but instead I'll just get this started to get a feel of what we're doing here. Now this isn't supposed to be, this isn't supposed to be sharp, this curve here, this turn. I mean, in this kind of, this area, but as far as the turn itself. But now, thus far, and because what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut her down and get my tools sharpened. Yeah, I could probably take a little bit more of this off later. Difference, similarity, but here's what we got so far on this. Still quite a bit of getting the uglies off. But anyways, there we are for now. We'll be back. All right, tools sharpened. And let's continue. I thought I might as well get right down to getting in a good position here so I can hopefully get into the face a little bit more. And I did, oh shoot, I was gonna drill a hole. I'll get back to that. And a lot of it is more like clean up too than everything else. But anyways, let's get to the face. That's probably the most important right now. Little tilt of the head. One thing that helps me when it comes to tilting and turning the head. Let me see, can I zoom in without getting too far out? How far? Oops, too far out here. Is sometimes I look at the head, tilt the head and look at it straight on, and then but tilt the body. So then I can focus on this being straighter. I don't know if I did that. Did I tilt the head? I did tilt it a little bit. Because the reason why I say stuff like that is because every time, I don't know if this happens to you, when you tilt the head or turn the head, and as you're holding on to the carving and you're cutting away, and as you're cutting away, for some reason, that head starts to turn, and all of a sudden that tilt is no longer a tilt. The turn is no longer a turn for some reason. You just keep carving and carving, and just, so that's why it's best to make sure that the body is at a tilt while carving the head, or turn, body at the turn, and so on. But this one, he's just got he's looking forward, tilt of the head, so at least something going on here. So let's move on, and put the nose in. Now this is going to be the difficult part, is actually putting in, and I think I still have some difficultness. He looks kind of, I think I'll fix him a little bit. He looks the what do they call it? The barrel of the mouth is a little too flat. I may come back with that and see if I can correct it with this. Now, if his head is tilt, then let's look at how may need to turn this up. And that'll add to the tilt. Did I do that here? Yeah, I think the beard is tilted a little bit. Let me just at least get that started. Oh, that's a nice sharp knife. Just a little bit off. I still want that still puffy. So it's kind of interesting getting the puffiness of his beard. And anything else we can clean up and adjust. All right, let's keep that for now. Take a little bit of this off. All right, there is the nose. If that's true, then the mouth is here, right here. And then we got the chin. Keep him in view here. And we want as much beard as we can. And there's the mouth. Here's the eyes. And that's why I still have that, the hair is puffed out, and the lips in. So then the beard will be about here. Now this is all going to go away, but I just want to get my bearings here. I might be a little higher, or the chin, or cheek, I'm sorry, chin is down here. And if the nose is here, the smile will be a little higher. Where's my pink pearl? And with that, I can raise the beard a little bit. Like I said, all of that is going away. I just hope I remember. I think the head is a little too narrow for the face. Just seeing it. I see it. It will help me when I carve. There we go. So I want to start with the nose. Tilt the body, keep the head straight. Just getting the nose in. A little turn. Get the eye in. Nice socket going. Well, that's not good as far as being even. There, that's better. Like I said, that's not the socket of just getting our bearings here. The nose, this end is this end. And our fly is back. And we'll go in. I have done this so many different times, or different angles, or different way of looking at it. Now he is more jollier, so I will have a sharper, instead of, let's see if I can do this without hurting it. This is different. Here we go. This is better, a little better because of the grain, I guess. There. A little better. Now, take this off because this is bothering me here. Oh, that's much sharper. Keep that face in. Now what's going to happen is we're going to have the cheek and the smile line and the mouth. Excuse me. Now the thing is, I've been given these Santas more cheek than normal, is that the cheek line is generally, feel it, the cheek line is about the same as the nose line. But sometimes I give extra cheeks, especially, well, fictitious characters like that. And this is not a mustache. That is a beard, or a cheek. Pardon me. I could say anything. Oh, jeez, I forgot my. Where are you? And I think he might be too big. Where's my smaller? Oops. There we go. No, that's too small. I should have been more prepared. Sorry about that. Difference between the two. Now this is a real V because it comes to a sharp edge. Where this one is a little, it has some roundness to it. And I have a, just want to show when I talk about, if I can see it at this angle, it's kind of difficult. No, I can't. Oh, here it is. It is a softer V, a little softer, but not completely. And over here we have a more softer V. It's a large V. It's quite soft. I won't be using that because it's too big for this. I won't be using that. I could, but I would feel more comfortable with this tool here. Now what's going to happen, I'm going to come along and bring the cheek in, and I can bring all of this in too with the V tool. But I also want this, because if we were to put in the ear, which we are not, you could if you want, so it's about halfway is when the ear will start to emerge. So I want the head, and then there's the sideburns, so we want all this out. Same here, where's the ear? And here, kind of nice sideburn. And we want all of this out, so it's about the same. So let's get her going. Now, one of the things that I've learned or saw from Bruce at our last club meeting is he put his thumb, rests that on his thumb. I was going to ask him about that, but everybody else were asking questions, and before you know it, it was too late. Time ran out. And I guess that it does. This is kind of one of the first times I'm trying that. Before I'd use my other finger to help support that. Now I'm going to start with my Scout here, my smaller knife. Got him nice and sharp. Here's a good little choppy. Yep. Just a nice clean to know where we're at. Keeping the head tilted. Now the cheeks. I think he's right. I want him to come down a little more. Now this is just cheeks. This is not the beard or mustache. There's no mustache. Now sometimes I like to leave the nostril alone and put the cheek in first, and then have the cheek help me define the nostril. All right, now, while we're at it, before I round that off, play with that a little bit, I want to put this in. This is the bottom of the beard. Oh, I can see there's quite a bit of adjusting there to go. Oops. Not too much on one and too little on another. Because it's right there, it's going to start turning the head back again if I don't straighten that out now. And that is not a mustache. All right, now here comes the fun part. I'll have to adjust that to make sure that I'm still got the head turned. Now here's the smile line that we will put in. Actually, yeah, here. This goes up. Making sure I got a lot of smile mouth barrel to start with. Make sure I'm still in. Oh, I didn't need to go that sharp. But while we're doing it, let's do the other side. Actually, the different way of doing this, I kind of goofed a little bit. Okay, let's put the barrel in. put the chin in. After I put this in, I want to see if I scooped up, which I think I may have. I'll put this in while I'm here. Yes, I think I did. I think I can recover here. Because we do want kind of the sharpness. I'll come back with the sharpness here. Well, I suppose let me make this a little more sharper here. Let's put the nostril in while we're at it. Make sure I'm not turning the head. Make sure everything is still tilted. I get too much cheek on this side, but I want that to be lowered. Or maybe I don't have enough cheek on this side. Let's fix this. I did goof up quite a bit here. I think we can recover. Fixing that barrel a little bit. Yeah, because that was the confusion, is that we don't have a mustache. So the best thing for me to do a little bit of this, because we do want the beard to come up to the, come up to the cheek. I am trying to fix something I goofed. And I think I'm going to have to fix the beard to fix that. Because there is a I think I'm going to have to let the beard fix that. Now we're back to, can we pull this off again? Issue. Yeah, I did dig too deep here. I'm going to probably use some, when I cut the beard, I'll use some of that. And I shape the beard, or put the marks in the beard. All right, let's move on, and I think maybe if I could fix that a little later. Oh boy, I did. Don't dig so deep there, shoot. If I were to put the mouth in, that'll help me. And again, I think this has more focus on the barrel. A little bit more thinner. Here's where the eye is going to be. The mouth should come to about here. Just a little smile. And I'm going to come up to it, to that cut. This is just a simple smile on a small figure. He is kind of caricature anyways. If you look in the books on how to create a smile and lips and all of that, there's quite a bit more of adjusting. Like this cheek is a little higher. So I am going to, this will help, come and shape. This is where I'll be needing the, let's see, I'll be needing the visor on when I do the pickings, and then I'll try to figure it out there. Oops. So he's coming out relatively okay. It's just that I'm trying to figure out what to do with this error I did over here. I think if I were to make the mouth thinner, and again I'm going to cut up, because the bottom jaw is supposed to be below the upper, the bottom lip is supposed to be below the upper lip. Now this is, because there's the chin. Because this will help a little bit here. I will have to make adjustments on that to make it work. We'll do this to the eye. I think I already did that on that side. The beard is still a little off. I think I got enough. Well, I think if I get a little more here, I think that might help. Look at how this works here first. There we go. I think I can fix that. I think. Because we need to come in. Oops, careful. We still need to come in some more. I buried the tip. I think this might help. There we go. So now I can make some more adjustments after. I think it'll still work out. Thin the body up here a little bit more. And the shoulder can come in quite a bit more. Oops. So we're getting back to adjustments after kind of happy with the rough out of it. Now we need to make it work. Bring this shoulder down a little bit to match. Thin the arm over here. Clean this up a bit. Only a little bit, like I said. I'm going to have to get the the visor on for cleaning up and picking and all of that. Excuse me. Do a little bit of cleanup here with the V. That'll help. Like I said, quite a bit of picking. Now, I'm not going to do the eyes on this. I'm not going to carve in the eyes because it is kind of small, number one. And number two, like I said, I have got so many eye videos. Or what I could do. Let's prepare. Let's prepare the eyes for painting. Scoop, scoop, scoop. And again, there is so much picking here and there and shaping it. Now I want to use the puffiness of this hat because it is puffy. So I'll make it nice and puffy. Oops. I'll have to look at some pictures again about the hat. Yeah, I did with that, so I might as well put this in. Put the roundness to the tip. Ooh, take some, I believe, is that saw marks there yet? Turn it. I think I might need to thin that just a little bit. not too much. Put a little bit of a scoop in there that gives it a nice puffy look. All right. Could probably do a little more, one more. There we go. Take some of these pencil marks off. Now, I will quickly put the beard in. A little more adjustment on the eyes, and of course I should save that for the visor. Now let's see, do we still have a tilt head? Here's the body. So the head is tilted, just like I wanted. I think it's got more wood to play with that. I think there's quite a bit more. Okay, the beard. Now I've been doing all kinds of different beards. With this one, I'm going to still stick with the, take my number 11. You can probably do some number 9. And just do this. Oops. I want to have it more staggered. He's kind of got a staggered beard. Or the beard has to be more, not staggered, what do you call it? Wiry. So you don't want it too uniform. Be careful here. Come back. So some more adjustments here. Where does the coat come in? One here, and all right, like I said, there's still quite a bit of adjustments yet to do. Except I want to drill a hole in there. But before I leave to go down and drill the hole, I want to kind of leave it so I don't have to come back to the face again. I just thought, well, what the heck, I might as well take one of my practice sticks. In fact, this is a nose practice stick here. I wonder if I was going to create an eye. Let's see, this is bigger. Is this face bigger? Yeah, this face is a little bigger. So I'll just put a quick run in here. Let's get a smaller. Because I wanted to get the eye socket in. Now, one of the things that I was mentioning before, I'm not sure if I did in this video, I did in the last video, is I think there's 3 steps to the nose, or 3 phases, which I don't have here, and I don't have with these 2 as much. Is this how I look at it? There's your nostril, and it's sharp. And then here is your eye, which is this socket here. But you got this right here in the middle, where it just comes right up in a smooth, just smooth. Do I have it on any other? Don't have it on him. I do have it on, I was starting with him. See the smooth here? I didn't put the eye socket in this one. But this is what I'm trying to preserve, and I goofed that a lot, is the middle part of the nose. You look in a mirror, basically, you got that. But this one here, I lost it, because I wanted this to be a bulbous nose, is what I practiced on. And so, let's get started with. Now I'm going to do this a bit different. I don't know if I did this recently. I'll do it differently than what I've done before. Usually I start and put in the roundness of the eye socket. Just a little wider here. What I like to do is figure out, I mean, there's some measurements too if you want. There's the 5 eyes, but sometimes I would like to go like this. This is where the pupil is. Where's my eraser? There's this eraser right here. And it helps. And it's not perfect. Sometimes I do goof up. But it has helped quite a bit. And then, of course, there's the mouth. All right, then from there, I create here up, and then down. Here up, oops, a little more sharper up, and then flatter down. That's looking a little better. This one might be a little wider, and maybe just a little bit of a bottom. And so the pupil will be more like right here. And of course you'll have your iris. Of course that'll all disappear. This is just so you can see. I mean, does that look okay? Give or take-ish. Okay, then I'm going to draw. Am I close enough here? Oh, can I do this? How can I do this? How close can I come here? How close can I come up? All right, let's see if we can do this without getting out of the camera. So I'm just drawing the knife. Drawing with the knife on the pencil mark that I drew. Make sure I turn the piece so I don't just come across and slash. This is basically straight down. Okay, let's hope this one is going to be a little wider, it looks like, so I can adjust it later. Like I said, it looks like, but if I come a little closer to the iris, pupil, pardon me, and that's what I'm doing. I'm going to be creating a chip right here. So I'm going to start with cuts 1 and 2 of the 3-cut chip. Now here I'm going to take the 3rd cut, and this is not, it doesn't look like it's going. Like I said, I prefer to have my visor on when I do this. So I'm just going to go, I'm just going through the motion. If it doesn't come out right, even though I have my read glasses on, I'm still kind of buggy-eyed. Cut the top first, like I mentioned earlier, to the top. So in other words, you still have, see how close we can come, you still have this, which is not clean at all. Oh boy. The reason why I feel it looks like my hand is a little wobbly is because I'm away from, instead of doing like close to me like this. So I'm kind of stretching out, and so the arms are a little wobbly. So don't mind that. And then from the top, where are you? Come down. And now I just complete rounding the ball. And what is supposed to happen, as I said, is that let's see if I succeeded with that. You see how it's going in this direction, because remember the pupil is the center of the eye. And then when you do paint, remember, when you get to the iris, goes all the way down to the bottom. Do not have any white paint underneath unless you want him to look like he's terrified. But you always have, the white is only on 2 sides. I think it is Mitch Cartledge. What he does is he just simply paints the iris and the pupil, and then he puts a white dot after on either side. I was going to try that out. So the white is actually last. So that's kind of looking kind of chippy right now. I'm kind of really buggy-eyed. So just pretend that those chips are not there. Oh, geez. Here, let me fix this first. Or try to. Again, too buggy-eyed. Let's just pretend those chips aren't there. Again, we're going to go to the top just a little bit so we can create that. And then from the top down. And now I'm just rounding the ball. I do have a little bit on the top there. I got to clean that. There we go. Let's see, did I do good here? Depends on the light is in the wrong direction here, even though I got one of these round donut lights, but I still have the outside light, outside ambient light coming in. But yes, it is going in this direction. Okay, a small V. Now it depends on how we want this. Now this is an older man, a Santa Claus, and then the Nisse and the Tomty and the Wood Spirit and all of that. They're older So therefore we would go in about a 10, 20 degrees this way, turn it around. Hopefully that was in. And I want to chip that away. There's one of two things. You can just chip it away, get that depth in there and leave it alone after you clean it. And just kind of leave that. Or you can kind of thin this out so we'll just take the pencil mark out. And then you see more of the upper eyelid. And then what's going to happen is after you put all of this in, you may have to take the round tool. Where's the round tool I used? Here. And take some of that off. I think that's a little better. And then we add this. I'm going to do it two ways. I do it the old way. Sometimes I do it the old way. It was like that. And you chip. Now, one of the things I've seen Ryan Olson does, and I don't know unless he got it from somebody else's instead, especially if it's going to be like a Santa or something happy, is then this turns up. It has more of a happier look to it. Now, one of the things you could do is take a nice round tool underneath. Let's do it on this side here to get that lower lid. Or sometimes when I'm done doing the eye, I get a little lazy and just instead of taking a round tool, and it makes more of a beat up look instead of this is too much. Now a lot of people have put in there, you could if you want. I rarely do this because especially Santa, I want it to be as happy and clean as possible. Put one of these, a couple of these in. The old man look. Sometimes I just like to leave it, even though he's an old man Santa. I prefer it that way. And then I don't take too much off here. And then let's take quite a bit out for the eyebrow bone. Sorry, of course all I want is the nose on this one. I'm not taking too much, but it is a practice piece. Try to get that's different. I've got too close to this. So put a nice eyebrow bone in. I think we can. Can we do that with this? Just a little more rounding. Let's do that here is a little bit of eyebrow bone. But anyways, that's it for, let me go and get a hole drilled into this, and we'll come back. And let's get this, and then we can finish this. Oops, let's zoom out a little bit more. Here we are thus far. And like I said, I can fix that. I think I can fix that. And quite a bit more shaping too. But I'll be back. Okay, let's get back here. What I did was, first I took this, I did drill, which is the main thing. And I decided to clean it up. Do the cleanup right now. I'll get to the hands for a second. And you could see I got to the spoon, and I'll talk a little bit more about the spoon or anything else you want to put in his hand. And I had to clean that up there. I didn't have my chisel over. Let me do a quick clean. The reason why I did this is I didn't think you can see me doing these little things and these hands come together and maybe sort of a mini scorp or something. And See, my fingers would be more in the way than showing you. So all I did was I just took a thin piece of wood, probably a 1/4 inch. Doesn't particularly have to be a specific thickness. You can make it a little thicker, a bigger bowl. But since this is a smaller piece, I just didn't want to get too much in it. So let me just stop doing this. I'll end up cleaning this later. All right, put it down. Put it down, because I will keep going and keep playing with that. Okay, coming back, and like I said here, I'll show you the cleanup. And like the thing I learned from Mitch Cartledge, is you put little, oops, where are you? Little triangle, little chips where 3 pieces come together, and that just pops out. Oh, I think I need to bring this down some more. The belt down some more. Carefully, I don't flick. Make sure I don't take off that belt. And I'll need to clean that up a little more. Keep the little chips in there, chip cuts. And it does make your carving pop out quite a bit. That's what I like about it. Nice shadowing. All right, continuing on, giving you the look here. Let's look at the face. I did manage, I'll bring this around, I did manage to fix it. I've seen some more pictures of Nisses, and I think the fur, the hair, I'll try that again. Let's bring the hair up a little more just underneath, because that's what we have, is just underneath us men. We have that hair just underneath here. And I will probably do that in the next one. Let me come up ahead here. That'll help. And make sure I put this little scoop for the bottom lip, because he is a mythical creature, so we don't need too much perfection. Now the lip is still a little, bottom lip is still just a little higher. There we are. I didn't make the nose as bulbous as I kind of wanted to. Shoulders go back a bit. That's kind of caricature. I could straighten that out just a little bit. This one's a little farther down. Therefore, maybe need to thin that a little more. That arm on the right is a little thicker. I may or may not do that. Clean up and around. Now I could, I'm not sure, and I don't know if I really want to, is put a little roundness to the sleeve of the pants, the pant legs and the cuffs. Now I did not put too much of an undercut, because this comes out. Maybe a little more of an undercut. Now be careful. Coming to the side. Same with the bottom here. Comes around. I could do that. I didn't. I think this needs to go in. That has to go in more. Okay, and I did beat up the hat a little more, make it more puffy or more imperfect. Okay, let's work with the hands. I think the feet I did as much as I could. One is a little bigger than the other. But let's get to the hand. All right, the hand, he's holding on to the spoon. And, of course, in this case, it's going to be kind of this way. So I want to kind of take careful, I got a hole. I realized after I drilled the hole, I didn't have to go all the way through. I would like to a little bit because I'll clean this up a little more because you got this kind of opening here. So kind of squaring the hand. Careful remembering there's a hole, the hole's there. Because there's my center line, but being careful here. What is the center line? Is this the center line? Is this what I want as a center line? I could probably do that. Now I would be careful here because I want a thumb, but it's not. I want to make sure we got the thumb going before we go any farther. Get a thumb in there. How closer can we get without me going off camera? All right. I want to put the thumb in first. Here it is. Before I put the fingers in, to make sure that the thumb is satisfactory. All right. Now the fingers go underneath. Be careful where that hole is. Now the hole, we'll look this way, we'll look at the center line will help. Yeah, he's not coming as clean as I want it to be. And the rest of the fingers. Fingers are in, the thumb is out. Clean the thumb a little bit, get the pencil marks out and rounding at the same time. Get out of there. So just a little cleaning later. All right, now it's time to put the 4 fingers in. Being 4 fingers, mean we got to, there's the center line. Whoops. There's a little Harry Potter lightning scar right there. Now I got my smaller V. Careful, there, the hole is in there. I don't want to break through. Same here. Now the pinky comes in a little bit. Be careful where the hole is there, it'll snap through. Now this should come down a little more this way. That index finger is really going to be a pain. I hope not. And it's because this is kind of small. That's the reason why this is going to be a bit difficult. Instead of this being a 10 inches or something like that. Like I said, the whole idea of all of this was see if I can take somebody else's stuff or discards and see if I could do something. So again, it's more like entertainment than teaching at this point. Uh-oh. Oh, crap. Went right on through. Well, let's see if I can put something, or maybe if I put the spoon in there will help. I could cut it, but the pinky still comes around. I'll see if I can figure something out on that. Then I want a little bit of this. Careful I don't really ruin that hole. Or the pinky with just a little bit of this. If this is a larger carving, then I would. And the tip of my knife seems to be dull again. Take my bigger knife, see if that'll help. Cleaner cuts. That's cleaner. My bigger rough-on knife is a better detailing knife. Shaping the fingers a little bit. Am I still in? Yep. Now I think I'm going to leave it at that. I mean, there's some, see if I can do this carefully without making it worse. There we go. The only thing I'm really worried about is the index finger is not looking very good. I'll put one of these, this in here, this round of the knuckles. Take the pencil marks out. There. Now I got the ring finger. Now the ring finger is the second longest. I might just leave it at that. Okay. Now don't mind the slip through right there. I didn't mean to. Yeah, my rough out knife is sharper than my detail knife. And just do a little bit of this. I think he's pretty good as is. Can I do this? Now we're doing cleanup here. This is basically what I've been doing before I got here, or got back again. And there's quite a bit, but that's a chip. All right, that's what I'm going to leave him. Let me take this off. There's the spoon. And the spoon kind of covers a little bit. I want this. Now the spoon, now you could have it like this. It shows he has a spoon. Or he's showing you his spoon. Or if it's more natural, have it a twist like this. That's more natural. And there we have it. I'm going to stay with that. And if you see these little odds and ends here, just ignore them. I'll give it one more clean. All the boogers. Like I said, the spoon, I'll either leave it like that. It's just a simple spoon. I mean, there's not particularly a pattern to it. Just make a spoon. This is more like this is not the kind of spoon that you'd have in the kitchen or that you have lunch with or dinner with. This is more like a scooping spoon, and this is a wooden spoon too. This is probably the most authentic of the whole thing. This is a wooden spoon because of the Scandinavian style spoon carvings and spoons that they have. And so that's all it is. Or this pattern just, oops, sorry, knocked him over. All right, what's the difference between the two? They both came from basically the same pattern. I want to say pattern. That is Pete LeClair's word for pattern. Pete LeClair is from Northeast. I hope he's not watching. In the pocket, hand sticking out. The other thing, you can have both hands out like this, and then you can have a rope coming back in a sled. And that's it. I put the creases in. You can put some more creases in. As I've shown in the last video, you can make 3 creases, but since this is more tiny here, last chance. That says a pencil mark, or I could just sit here all day and picking. But there we are. Nisse, Tomty, whether you're Norwegian or Swedish, here in Minnesota, We are very Scandinavian-ish people. But there you are. Until the next one.